Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the 26th part of this series where we are building a personal dashboard app using Angular. In this video, we're going to be implementing route transitions for our secondary routes. Alright, okay, so the next thing we can do is we can work on animating the routes that aren't the tab routes, right? Because these tab routes have this animation, right? However, the non-tab routes, for example, this one here, hasn't got any animation, right? So let's go and work on animating these ones, right? So let's go back to the code here, and what we can do is we can go to the prepare route method, and here we are just returning the activated route data. Alright, and here we are returning outlook.activated route data tab, right? So that's the, if we go to the routing module, it's this data here, okay? So for the routes that don't have this tab data, so all of these ones here, this will probably be returning undefined, right? So what we want to do is we actually want to return a different value for when the route isn't a tab route, okay? So let's actually just put this into a block. All right, so I'm just putting these curly brackets here. All right, and then I'm not going to return this. Instead, I'm going to do tab is equal to const tab is equal to this, and then we're going to do if not tab, then we want to return secondary. All right, so then we will have this state to use in our state transitions expressions up here, right? So that's why I'm doing that. All right, and then we can now do return tab, okay? So now, if tab hasn't got a value, then it will return secondary. Otherwise, we will be returning the tab number, right? So if we save that now, and if we go back up here, and if we go to the trigger for the route anim. All right, so here we have the increment transition, and here we have the decrement transition. And below that, what we want to do, so I'm just going to go below this transition here. And I'm going to do a transition. And the state change expression will be from any state to secondary. All right, so this is saying when we're transitioning from any state to the secondary state, then we want to do this transition. And here, what we want to do is let's just copy over the styles from here. So I'm just going to copy all of the animation code from this transition here. So I'm going to grab all of that and paste it in here. Okay, and let's just paste that in there. All right, and let's just save that. And let's go back to the application. Okay, and there we just saw it animate in. That's cool. All right. Awesome, so it is actually animating in. That's pretty cool. All right, so now let's go and change that. Let's just go and change this animation. So first of all, let's go and let's just get rid of this. We don't need that. Let's go here and let's change this transform. All right, so now we can actually work on this transform. So let's change this to a scale transform. So let's do scale, and this is the leaving element, right? So we want the leaving element to animate to 0.8 scale. All right, so if we save that and go back to the animation and go back to the application, and let's try this now. All right, so now it's actually animating out using a scale transform. Cool. All right, now let's go here and let's work on changing this transform here for the entering component, and let's change this to scale, and we want to start this off at scale 1.2 and then it's going to animate to transform scale 1. So scale 1. All right, save that and go back to the application. Okay, let's try that. Cool. All right, so we do have one problem though, and that is that the overflow is being hidden, right? So in this case, we don't actually want the overflow to be hidden because we actually want to see it scale down from a scale 1.2 to a scale 1, right? Because at the moment it's just it looks like it's staying in one place, and it's just the content of this box that's scaling down, and that's because of the overflow. So if I actually remove the overflow, if I go up here and I remove this overflow hidden here, and if I save that and go back to the application, all right, so then we actually see that we can see the overflow, and we can actually see the scale animation properly, right? So if we go here and do this, then we can see that it's like that. Cool, all right, cool. All right, but now the problem is that we see the scroll bars, right? So to prevent that, what we can do is we can go back to the code here, go to styles.scss. All right, so let's now go up here and let's find HTML. And here we can do overflow hidden. All right, save that, go back to the application. All right, and let's see now. Cool, all right, so now there's no scroll bars. Cool, all right, let's go back to the code here. Let's close this, and let's go back to the app component.ts. And yes, let's just, and yeah, all right, so let's now go here, and let's, and I think we can now actually work on the transition from secondary to another state, right? So if we go down here, let's actually just copy this. Let's just grab this transition. All right, let's grab that. I'm going to put a comma here and then paste that in there. All right. And then I'm going to go here to the state change expression. All right, and then here, let's change this to secondary to any other state. All right, and now let's just go and change the values a little bit. So let's go here. And let's change this so that the leaving component animates to scale 1.25 and fades out. Okay, so it's going to grow larger as it fades out. And then for the entering component, we want this to start off at 0.8 and animate to scale 1, like that. All right, so then the entering component will be growing and fading in at the same time. All right, so if we save that and go back to the application, and let's click cancel, and there we go. So now we actually have the animation like that. That's pretty cool. Cool. All right. So cool. All right. So now what we can do is these styles here we're using in a lot of places. We're using it here, here, and here, right? So, and here, right? So what we can do is we can actually, let me just go up here, and I'm going to create a const base styles is equal to, and then I'm going to go down here and grab this. I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to go and paste it here. Okay, and now we can go here and just use base styles. Okay, now let's go and do that for all of them. So if we go down here, these we can get rid of and do base styles like that. Let's save that and go back to the application. And let's just make sure this works. Cool. Now let's go and let's go to here. And let's just put base styles. And let's go here and do base styles. Cool. All right, let's save that. And let's go back to the application. And let's make sure this works. Cool. All right, that looks pretty good. Cool. All right. So the next thing we can do is we can actually move on to setting the correct date and time up here. All right then. So let's go and start working on that now. All right then. So let's go and do that now.